Hi, I'm Ben from Motivation to Invest. Our mission is to help you invest for your financial freedom. Whether that means escaping the 9 to 5 drudgery or just improving your quality of life, I'm here to help you with valuable investing tips and strategy. The world is in the midst of a global epidemic due to the coronavirus and the subsequent lockdown of the entire planet. Is the world about to end? Or is this the greatest opportunity to start investing? I believe it's the latter. The fear which has been forced down the throats of everyday citizens have made them adopt some very strange buying habits. With all restaurants, bars and many retail outlets closed, people have been panic buying on face masks, hand sanitizer, and even toilet roll. Don't know why. However, hand sanitizer seems to be the most lucrative for businesses. With a worldwide shortage and increased demand, the rules of supply and demand come true. Previously, hand sanitizer could be purchased at a very, very low cost and was very easily accessible in many stores and outlets. However, due to the increased demand and shortage of ingredients worldwide, the price has inflated. Now, if you attempt to purchase hand sanitizer and it's not sold out, you will most likely pay £5, £6, £7 for a small bottle of hand sanitizer. Even the raw ingredients such as isopropyl alcohol is selling for £80 for 5 litres. Whereas previously, before the outbreak, it was less than £2 a litre. Doing the simple mathematics, it's clear to see that this is a massive opportunity for profits for anyone who is willing to take the risk and order a massive amount of these ingredients before the outbreak. I've seen many sellers on platforms such as eBay making over £10,000 a day selling the raw ingredients, the isopropyl alcohol, and many others selling the individual bottles of hand sanitizer. So is this wrong? Well, there's two ways to look at the situation. Some people initially will look at the situation and say, these people are taking advantage of vulnerable people because vulnerable people cannot purchase the product because it's such a high price, which I completely agree with. However, on the other side of the coin is, it's supply and demand. So if the initial supplier or the factory runs out of stock and they decide to increase their prices, then it has a knock-on effect along the whole supply chain right up to the individual seller. This individual seller could be a simple mom who's working from home and she decides, you know what, I want to make some hand sanitizer, some more organic hand sanitizer out of natural ingredients, and I want to bottle it and be entrepreneurial and sell it through Instagram or sell it to my friends to help them out. Me personally, I think she's doing a good thing by being entrepreneurial, using her initiative to make a bit of extra cash to help her out, to help her family and to provide for her family. So to me, there's nothing wrong with that. However, if the initial supplier at the factory puts their prices up, she will have to put her prices up. And then she may get negative comments from people who say, why are you selling it so expensive? I bought it this price before the epidemic. But the reality of the situation is, it's not her fault. She's just trying to make a profit and trying to make a bit of cash. She's not being greedy. It's because further down the line, at the start of the supply chain, they've increased the prices or they've run out of stock. So that's the situation. So as long as people are aware of this is the situation, then there should be no qualms about prices. Obviously, it is expensive at the moment, but the people that are selling it, they must have took a risk to buy it. The expense of the product can be a good thing or it can be a bad thing. It can be a bad thing if you see the product, it's expensive, and you moan and you say, oh, why is it so expensive? And you bring out negative energy to the other person. However, if you use your initiative and think, well, actually, it's this much in price, I can split it and resell it for this much, and then I can pay off my mortgage or pay and help my family, and then I don't have to get government handouts, which saves people on tax. So to me, in society, I look at the person who's using their initiative and I think they're bringing more value to society, because I feel they're providing a product, they're providing a service which people want. Hand sanitizer is not a thing that people need to survive like food. It's a preferred accessory to help them in a situation, but it's not a must. It's not like buying bread and milk and cheese. So I went to the supermarket, I saw the chicken was double price. Now, I did moan about it, but then I assessed the reality of the situation, and the reality is, unless I'm going to go to create a chicken farm myself or source chicken from another place.
Well, what do I gotta chase a chicken for? It's embarrassing, you know?
Push, because I said so. Get him, get him, get him! Come on, what's the matter with you? Get him!
Then I've got to pay it. Or I can purchase another product which maybe I don't like as much flavour-wise, like turkey, but I could just purchase that and save money. So it's still a consumer choice. The consumer who is making the conscious choice to purchase whatever product they desire. So anyway, observing that this was a massive opportunity and people were making thousands and thousands and thousands, I thought to myself, okay, let's have a little go. Is it possible to actually make even just a few thousand from this situation? So luckily I was quite quick off the mark. Not as quick as some, but I managed to source 100 litres at a very, very, very cost-effective price. I managed to source it approximately £5 a litre, which is still approximately triple what it was before the epidemic, but I then managed to flip it for up to £15 a litre. So I still made 3x profit on that transaction. I made a substantial amount of profit, but nothing compared to the 10k a day guys online. And there was a few reasons, I'll explain why. What challenges were faced? Well, due to the supply and demand situation I mentioned previously, I noticed the cost of the bottles and the plastic bottles, which were very, very cheap and cost effective before, were now expensive. So that was another cost to add on. I noticed the cost of labels, which were previously very, very cheap. I was quoted £200 for 200 labels. That's £1 a label. And if you're only selling a product for £4, that's a fourth of your margin gone already. So the supply and demand rules always reign true. On the online selling platforms, there was further challenges. So eBay and Facebook Marketplace decided to remove listings related to hand sanitizing products and related to face masks or any sort of product which was to do with the coronavirus epidemic. And I understand their thoughts initially behind doing this, because they're feeling people are taking advantage of the situation. However, in doing what they did, they subsequently created more demand, because if there was 100 products listed online, they'd remove 90 of the products and there's 10 left. This boosts the demand because people can't get enough of the products. The 10 people sell out, people are left disappointed, and then there's even higher demand for the product, which makes the prices inflate even more. And then if you get the mom working from home seller, which I spoke about previously, she's purchased some bulk isopropyl, she's paid over the odds for it to create smaller bottles with organic ingredients. She's done that being entrepreneurial, she's not being greedy, she's just trying to make a little bit of extra cash as a side hustle. So she's purchased the isopropyl from, say, eBay or another one of these online marketplaces. She's paid triple for it. She's selling a product, she's making, say, double what she bought that for. However, now, because of the restrictions, she couldn't sell enough of her product online. So the one she did sell, she'd have to increase the price. So it's a vicious circle which was created by these online platforms. So luckily, I saw this happening in front of me and I thought, this is crazy. because what I noticed is eBay stated we only let certain business verified sellers who they select to sell the product. Now, this is funneling all those profits which could have been spread over millions of entrepreneurial spirits like the mom who's working from home, and it funneled it down to 20 companies, which are 20 businesses which eBay had selected. Now, I don't know what arrangement they've got with eBay, but when there's lots of sellers, each person was making a few £1,000s a day. However, if you funnel all that to 10 people, or to a small number of sellers who eBay have selected, they're going to be making hundreds of thousands a day. Well, everyone else is making zero. So to me, I personally thought that was wrong, because I thought they tried to be good in the situation, but they didn't understand supply and demand, and they didn't understand that some people had purchased bulk amounts to resell at smaller and smaller quantities. I just feel this killed the entrepreneurial spirit of the stay-at-home mom who was making organic hand sanitizer. And this is a real person, by the way. It's not just someone I've made up. This is a real person. I'm using it as an example, but I know someone who was doing this. They were stay-at-home mom. They've got 2 kids. They're really creative. They had some isopropyl alcohol, and they were making the small bottles of organic hand sanitizer, and they got hit by this. They got hit by the regulation brought in by eBay, Facebook Marketplace, etc. And I just feel like they've killed their entrepreneurial spirit, and then the government is proceeding to say, oh no, you should go on universal credit, you should go on benefits, you should go on government handouts to survive, rather than be entrepreneurial and actually help people and provide them with a product or service. It's whatever you think is the right thing to do. But let me know if you've understood my thought process in the supply and demand situation. And yeah, drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear it if you think, is it morally wrong, or is it just supply and demand? Is it killing entrepreneurial spirit? Should people be encouraged to supply products which there is a limited amount of? Should there be just a blanket regulation on the prices? I just feel it was a take away from the little guy vibe. There was a recent government announcement in which they stated they had awarded £1 billion licenses to companies such as BrewDog to create hand sanitizer.
Also introducing a range of measures to boost the supply of personal protective equipment such as face masks to protect frontline NHS staff. And we're removing administrative barriers to the production of hand sanitizer. By reducing the amount of red tape, new suppliers and businesses that produce ingredients for safe hand sanitizer will be able to bring their products to market in a matter of days. Companies including BrewDog and Ineos have already stepped forward to offer their services. I'm incredibly proud of how businesses and individuals across our great nation have risen to the challenge.
Now, fair enough, I think that should be done because there was a national shortage. However, what was the reason to present that information on a public forum on the daily coronavirus update, which attracts millions of viewers? To me, that's free advertising. To me, that's a partnership with the government, and it's, right, here's some free advertising. You do your business. Rather than empowering the individual to actually become successful themselves. So let me know your thoughts on that. To me, it seemed a bit strange to put a brand name on a government coronavirus update which attracts millions of people. Like, they could say we've awarded contracts to certain suppliers. They don't have to say the names. So to me, that's a bit of free advertising. Well, a lot of free advertising. It's millions of people. So what happened to my situation? Well, I made a decent profit, roughly 3 times what I purchased the product for, even though I purchased it twice of what it should have been. And then the rest I donated to vulnerable people, and even a elderly folks home who needed supplies. I donated them many bottles for free. So I feel like I made a bit of profit and I did a good thing. So I feel good all around, and I feel like that's what large businesses should be doing. However, I can't help thinking that Large corporations, governments, and large online selling platforms do not like individuals making too much money and making too much profit. I feel that they're very against that. But let me know your thoughts. Do you think the entrepreneurial spirit in society is punished or is it rewarded? Is it encouraged or is it put down? Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Just drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you found this video inspiring or informative, feel free to like, comment, and definitely subscribe. See you next time.